Hey, what's going on, family? Welcome to your Monday night live stream. I am your host, Sir Ashley, and I hadn't been doing this in a while. It's been a couple weeks. So let me know if you can hear me correctly or if you can hear me properly, because I don't have my mic. Um, we'll get through that. In the chat, let me know. On this channel, on this live stream every Monday, try to do every Monday, we talk about the housing market nationally. We talk about real estate locally in the greater Charlotte area and how both of those combined impact you, both the buyer and sellers, so you know how to navigate in the ever changing real estate market that we've been in. What it seems like it's been chaotic for the last 5 years. So, we're here to present that to you. So if you have any questions regarding buying, selling, investing, mortgages, let us know. If we don't know the answer, we will follow up with you and provide that answer at a later date or do a video just on that answer. And I do have a couple guests with me tonight. Real quick, hit that like button and also share it with any friends. I see we have about 15 people watching now. So I appreciate y'all for jumping on, tuning in. And let me bring my first guest. Sherica, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing wonderful in yourself.
I'm doing very well. So
That's
I am
good.
about to do two things right now. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to um, tell everybody who you are, right? Introduce yourself, and then I'm going to go get my mic. So,
Okay.
all right.
You ready? Hi, guys. My name is Sherica Brinkley. I am with Meritage Homes. I am a new construction specialist, and I sell homes in North and South Carolina areas, just in and around the Charlotte area. So that is what I do. And I don't know how long it's going to take Sir to get this mic. He didn't say where it was. So
I'm
I'll
back. I'm back.
that quick. I was
That
just
was
going to
quick.
pass the torch.
No, so Sharika is a wealth of knowledge, and she has some things coming up this week that we want to invite you all to. So stay tuned. She will get into that a little later. And reason why, one of the reasons why I value Sharika is we talk about being boots on the ground. I have the advantage of having all these agents and myself practicing every single day from this perspective. She's working on the other side and she gets to see everybody coming in and out of the builders model homes and people looking for new construction. So she has a different perspective than myself and what the agents that work for me have. So I value that highly. I also want to introduce you to, she has some internet problems. Let's see if it works. Kesha, can you introduce yourself, Kesha Carter?
Hi, I'm Kesha Carter, and I'm an agent in South Carolina, North Lifestyle International Realty. And I've been doing real estate for about 6 years now, 6.5 years.
Perfect, perfect. Now, if you've done deals with me in the past year or so, chances are Kesha has been part of the process at some point. You just didn't know about it. So I appreciate you, Kesha, for helping out and not even helping out, taking the lead a lot of the time. So thank you very much and taking the
You're welcome.
time out,
Thank
weathering this whole internet fiasco we got going on right now. But I want to jump right
I'm
in.
sorry.
Hey, what's going on, Virtual Business Solutions? Thank you for tuning in from Charlotte. Uh, Barbara Mosley, thank you. Thank you for tuning in as well. Please let me know where you're watching from. And again, those people that are local here in Charlotte or in the Charlotte area, North and South Carolina, stay tuned. Sharica has an event later this week that we want to invite you to, that she wants to invite you to, but it's really all of us. And I believe
Yes.
it will be very impactful and you'll be able to walk away with a ton of knowledge. Uh, but I want to talk about, before we talk about what's happening locally, I want to put it in perspective to what's happening nationally. But before I do so, we have another guest that just joined. Takesha, how you doing?
Hello,
How you doing? Can you
hi.
introduce yourself to everyone, please?
I'm Takesha. I'm with Lifestyle Real Estate Realty. and I'm licensed in North Carolina and South Carolina.
Perfect, perfect. Now, for all of our guests, I'm going to ask you about what you're seeing in the day-to-day field, what's happening with your clients. But before we do, I want to just give a national perspective and go over some numbers. If I can pull it up, we shall see if I can pull it up. I restarted my computer, and everything has been a little hectic since then. My team gets on me because I have all these tabs everywhere, and I do so because I know where everything is. But I started my computer, and now I don't have anything.
uh, it won't allow you to restore it.
It didn't.
Mm.
I mean, I could go into history and like search everything, single one, like individually. But you know, sometimes when it just you open the browser and everything pops back up, it didn't do that
Mhm.
this time. But all right, we'll get to it. I will, while you're all talking, I'll talk about what's happening. What's happening local, I mean, nationally, is the spring market, spring buying season, depending on the price point, did not quite take off like it had in years past. Typically, springtime, spring, early summer is when most of the real estate transactions take place, right? It's getting a little warmer. Kids are about to get out of school. So you get houses get put on the market, you get more inventory, but then not just inventory, you get a lot of buyers coming to the market to take advantage of that inventory. And what we have seen is inventory pick up. Homes have come to the market more so than they had in the past 4 and 5 years. But the number of buyers did not materialize to meet the demand or the supply of homes. So, depending on the market you're in, Florida and Texas are some of the severe ones. They're seeing either price, I wouldn't say corrections, but price drops to where it's 1 to 2%. And then Zillow recently put out, and I'll pull that article up shortly. They said they reforecast what they thought the 2025 housing market was going to do, and they believe we're going to be slightly down, slightly negative. Uh, I will start with Kesha. Spring market. How is that? What does that look like for you? Have you had a lot of activity coming into the spring market? How has it impacted you? That national trend that I mentioned. And this is where her internet. Kesha Carter, can you hear me?
Um, can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you. I can hear you. We're having a tough time seeing you here and there, but we can hear you. No? All right. Sharika, talk to me. Talk to me.
Okay,
We'll
I'm
work on
feeling what
Keisha's technical difficulties.
so for me, I think that I noticed a shift last month, and I just started kind of pivoting in terms of just marketing more so directly towards the buyer. I think we kind of chatted about that. I think you'll see in the next coming months, a lot of builders giving more incentives to buyers to kind of motivate them.
Mhm.
For instance, like I have one home in the community that I'm currently working in. It's 12 minutes from downtown Charlotte. I'm offering a 3.99 for the first year, and then year 2 through 30 is 4.99. So for a 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath townhome, that's definitely I'd say in a very convenient location. Again, it's 12 minutes from downtown Charlotte. Your first year mortgage, you could be approximately 1936 a month. That's including principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Right now, that's less than the average rent. Average rent in Mecklenburg County is what, $2,300 a month.
Yeah.
Even when you go into year 2 through year 30, you'd still be around $2,000 a month for that mortgage. So I think we'll start seeing a lot more of that. And in the next coming months. I think usually we get a lot of movement around this time with taxes, if we're being
Yeah.
fully transparent. And I think what happened is, I know, so I have a couple friends that are in that space. They mentioned a lot of people filed their taxes later than usual. So people haven't quite gotten their refunds just yet. So I think we're going to see a pretty good pickup in the month of May. That's my personal
Yeah.
opinion.
No, and I can attest saying that people I've talked to, because again, we typically have like home buying seminars around February, March, and everything, and people get to use their tax refunds as down payments to buy a home.
Hmm.
And we had a good turnout in February, not as much in March. And again, talking to a couple people, they did file later. Now I didn't
Hmm.
extrapolate that out, uh,
Hmm.
full picture, but I mean, it tracks. It does track.
And even I have a customer who her closing is going to be a little delayed. She hasn't received her refund just yet. She filed a little, on time, and she
Yeah,
just hasn't received her refund yet. So I think we're kind of, that's a piece, a fraction of what's going on in the market as well. Not the whole picture, but a little bit.
hmm and also the uncertainty with the economy in
Hmm.
certain price points. I see here in Charlotte, it's really impacting certain price points.
Hmm.
And are you experiencing it? Well, Takesha, are you experiencing that hesitation from buyers regarding the overall economy? Are you experiencing that right now?
Yes, yes. It depends on their affordability, and their affordability. A lot of people still want to look for those early threes or under three, and that's kind of hard to find right now.
Hmm.
Yeah. Like now,
But there are
three
buyers that's ready to buy, but it's their affordability.
affordability. And so my challenge when I talk about affordability and having those buyers is where they have to live or where that is offered, that price home. Sherica, you all offer homes in that price point, but where would they have to, like, where are those homes located?
I mean, absolutely. I have homes in the twos. It's just
Hmm.
how far are they willing to commute. I have homes that are in the twos in Cherryville. I have homes low threes in Shelby, in
Shelby? Yep.
Conover. Um, we're in the process of we'll be opening up a community in Gastonia in the near future. Also, I mean, townhomes are another option that gives them the ability to be a homeowner, but yet not have all of the maintenance of a homeowner. And they could still
Yeah.
stay in that range, just like I mentioned with that price point earlier. And I think a lot of it is kind of changing the conversation with buyers. And I just helped the agent with this with one of their transactions, and we went under contract just yesterday. But it was
Congrats.
just, thank you. It was just changing the conversation from the purchase price, right? The
Mhm.
overall price. It's like, okay, well, where do you want to be
Yeah,
monthly? Because there's many different ways we can get there, and it may not look like. Um, I mean, if you with the right interest rate, you can you can get a home that's 375.
Hold on
Where
1 second. 1 second, Sherica.
um,
Can y'all, is it fuzzy to you all or is it just fuzzy to me?
it's fuzzy. I don't know
It's,
what just happened.
I'm,
Can you hear me?
I'm fuzzy as well.
Mm-mm. It's just Sharika.
All
It's
right.
me.
Yeah. If you don't mind, Sharika, can you jump off and come back on? And what you
And
were
and
saying,
Keisha's still stuck.
no, we're
Oh,
having trouble.
she
We're having trouble here. It's the struggle bus, internet technology. It happens. So thank you all for watching and bearing with us. But I believe what Sherica was saying, I believe, I know that it is very important because it's a conversation that I've seen her have with potential buyers and walking through that conversation with the buyer and their agent to, like, many of us get caught up on the purchase price, but it really is what I've been saying for years. It is, what's the payment look like? Right? If you're talking about, she mentioned earlier, they have communities and homes where you can get 3.99%. Like, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter what the purchase price is, but you have to factor in, okay, 3.9, that purchase price at a 7%, which rates are right around now, is much different. That monthly payment is much different than what it is at a 4%. right?
Mhm.
So you have to make sure that, okay, what does that affordability looks like? And virtual business solutions, as is the HOA included in that figure? Yes, I believe it was. We can get confirmation when Sherica joins back. Because one thing I know about Sherica is a lot of times she always factors in the HOA because we understand that's going to be, it may not be obviously in your mortgage, but it's going to be a monthly expense that you're going to be accounted for. Yes, I will spell her name in a second. What's going on, Vivian? Come on down. Come on down. Danny, what's going on? Shout out to Danny Mullen right there. He was, and I'm a little off track, but I have to acknowledge him. The number one agent in North Carolina for lifestyle in the first quarter. So hat off to you. Thank you, brother, for grinding, for working, and just being diligent with your clients and doing it all very gracefully and having a full-time job. Like, so people that have, you are the example. There's a lot of agents that make excuses, but you just make it happen. So I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Hey, Danny.
All right. Kesha has changed locations.
I know
She's
I
in
don't
a
have no
closet
light up
right
here
now.
though. It's not working tonight.
She's coming from a closet near you. So Kesha, question was, what are you seeing right now as far as the economy overall? What's happening? Has that had any impact on your buyers, and what price point? If so, has that had an impact on what's going on?
Yeah, I think with the interest rates and the home pricing, it's actually putting my clients out of being able to afford to purchase a home at this time. I might have a client that's looking right now, and she is paying rent for about $3,000 a month. She wants to get a mortgage payment for like $2,000, but she wants to be in Charlotte. So it's just that's just where I am. A lot of clients want a $2,000 mortgage payment, and it's kind of hard right now because they don't want to go to the outskirts.
Right. Because I have 3 of those right now.
Then that is,
Yeah.
but this is where tough conversation. I know both of you have had these tough conversations. They just come into play. In the fact of, it's not like they're not going to get them right now. $2,000 mortgage in the Charlotte area. Like, I don't think they're ever going to get, not in the Charlotte area, in Charlotte proper. They're never going to get them again. So I'm not trying to be funny, like, wait till prices come down or rates come down. One thing we know about the Charlotte area, this is why I like to talk about nationally, but then also compared to Charlotte, is that people are coming here. We have a demand. So even though inventory has increased, and we'll get into inventory, what has increased, what didn't increase, as far as the price point, we're at in the price point, like those homes that cost 300 to 350, they go, and if they're moving ready, they go very fast, right? And even at 300 to 350 at a 6% interest rate, that's not going to be a $2,000 mortgage payment.
Correct.
Right.
So I think the ones, and even the homes that's in Charlotte and maybe in that price point, they're going to need some TLC to them. And that's another, that's something some people don't want to take on, is coming in and making a lot of repairs to a home.
And honestly, I understand a lot of people don't want to take it on. And I feel bad if I ask a first-time home buyer to even consider that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because like, if you're a first-time home buyer, you're used to being able to go to your landlord and then fix whatever wrong with it, right? But you buy a home that's dated and the water heater needs to be replaced, the HVAC system needs to be replaced, the roof needs some work. Like, those are expenses that you just don't, like, you may think, okay, I'm gonna do this at a later point in time, but you don't understand how those expenses may add up.
Correct.
Right. So it's a very tough conversation. And the conversation that I've been having with clients, similar position, is we look at areas just adjacent to Charlotte, just on the outside, that are growing to where no, you're not going to be in the middle of the city, but there's still going to be things to do within a 10 to 20-minute radius, right? We talk about
Mm-hmm.
Dallas, right? We got several communities in Dallas. Talk about Stanley. Sherica is not 10 to 20 minutes, probably 20 to 30 minutes. Cherryville, right there. So you have these pockets. And I know both of you are probably, I know I left out some communities, some areas, Kannapolis, Concord, where you can,
Hickory.
Even Salisbury.
let's talk about Salisbury. What's in Salisbury? Because I really like Salisbury.
And then
As
they
far
got
as what's
Shelby
going up
too.
there. Now
I think
Shelby and
Salisbury is cute, and it has a lot of good pricing. So I have a client, and she's been running into a debt to income ratio problem lately, and one popped up on my email saying 240 something, brand new house. So we definitely went out there to look at the lot just to make sure she would like it, because that's definitely in her price point. Like, no HOA, 240 something in the neighborhood isn't bad. I
Danny
can't
raised the
tell you
one
where
as
it's at
well. York, South Carolina. I've been talking about York for the past year and a half. I love York. I
now. Mhm.
believe, not even believe, like it has. If you look at what's happening, it is going to be the fastest growing area in the suburb in the area. Between all the builders, the permits, and all that's taking place, New York is where it's at.
I
Um,
agree. And I tell people all the time, when you see different builders going in one area, that's the area you might want to go ahead and focus on, because it's up and
It's
coming.
too late.
Yeah.
no, I agree. Now, Sharika's trying to get back on because we do have something to share with you about what she's throwing or having later this week. Those of you in the Charlotte area, it's on Friday. I encourage you to attend. I'll be there. Keisha, are you showing? Oh no, you're not going to be there this time. So Keisha, make sure Takesha comes and be at the
How
event.
I'll make sure she
Um,
go.
okay, thank you, thank you. We good, Sharika?
Yes, I don't know what was
Perfect,
going
perfect.
on.
No worries. It happens. It happens. I put your information in the chat, your phone number with Meritage Homes. And I said let her know you came from this live stream. Right. If they reach out to
Okay,
you, let her know you came from the live
absolutely.
stream. And you were in the middle of talking about what you're experiencing or seeing in the market right now.
Absolutely. And I think we were also talking about the fear, and I've
Yes.
just been just
Hmm.
rerouting folks' mind. Another thing that's coming up that's kind of this should be motivation, but people are using it as they're kind of getting nervous. But FHA will no longer non-permanent residents can no longer use FHA after May 25th.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that's I feel like if we all as a collective push that, right, then that will help
It
the
should be a
climate of the
motivating factor
market.
as opposed to a detrimental factor. Like you could
Absolutely.
use it while you can before it goes away.
There you go.
Yep.
So I've just been doing things like that. And I think I mentioned about kind of redirecting folks' thought process from the purchase price and more so
Yep.
to the payment that they're looking for.
Yep.
And then like when agents work with me, I just work backwards and I tell all the agents that I do have partnerships with, hey, let's work the deal backwards, right from their payment. And then from there, I'll say, hey, will these communities work well for where they want to be monthly? And I give the agent a list of homes. And that I've found that to work and be successful as well.
I was saying when you jumped off, I was like, told him I was actually privy to one of these conversations, heard your side of the conversation where you actually worked it backwards to make sure this person called about a certain community, this community wasn't going to work out, but you worked it
Mhm.
backwards to payment where they wanted to be around, not at, because you couldn't find out where they wanted to be at. They wanted something, I think I can say it. They wanted like 1400, and that wasn't
They-
going to happen.
No.
It wasn't happening. Like like where they were comfortable in that range, right? And you pointed them
Mhm.
into a community that did fit that price point that they were comfortable with. Now we have a question from Vivian. If you pay cash, can one expect to negotiate the price of new construction home down maybe 20,000 off the asking price? Now, I have my experiences. You
Mm-hmm.
work for
Mm-hmm.
Meritage. What say you?
I mean, I don't want to say a ballpark number, mainly because those are things that are not in our control.
Depends.
But as long as your offer
Mhm.
is even if it's not within reason, the builder is always going to counter you. Okay, so
Yes.
we'll meet somewhere in the middle. And Vivian, this is what I tell everyone who's our cash buyers that come through our office. If you can finance some of it, you want to finance some of it just because we don't have a prepayment penalty. And if we're giving you 20,000 in closing costs or however much in closing costs, you want to take advantage of that and use it to like do things like pay your HOA dues for maybe a year or two, or do something like pay up your taxes.
Yep.
You want to do things like that to where it doesn't come out of your pocket. Like, it's great, you've done a great job if you can pay cash for your home, saving your money, but you also want to continue to save. So if
Yeah.
you can just finance maybe 80,000 of that and then use the incentives and then go back and pay it off after a week later, because again, we don't have prepayment penalties.
Yeah. No, you hit the nail on the head. That is something that I've advised and walked clients through, to where, does it feel good to be able to pay something cash? Possibly, right? But if you the purpose of going new construction is, one, it's new, you have the warranties, you have the peace of mind, but then two is the
Other
incentives,
incentives.
right?
Absolutely.
So we want to be able to take advantage of those incentives. And so I'm trying to think. It wasn't a Meritage community; it was a Pulte community recently, where my client could have bought all cash, but we ended up taking a loan for like 150, um, and we were able to get the special financing costs. I mean, it's financing rate, right? And um, significant amount off of the purchase price. To answer your
Mhm.
question, and we got like $50,000 in closing costs. Now, granted, purchasing, depending on the purchase price, depends on what closing costs are going to be and all those things, right?
Mhm.
But we're able to get that. Whereas if we had just paid cash, I say they would have just paid cash. They wouldn't have got that
Mhm.
$50,000. And um, and one thing about money is, if you have, let's say, the 80,000 where you said, if you let that 80,000 sit in the bank, it's going to make you money in a high yield savings account and all that. If you pay it into the home, you're not gonna, like, it's not gonna make you money just sitting, because it's
Mhm.
gone, right?
Mhm.
So use the money that the builder's gonna give you. Let's put that toward closing costs, taxes, HOAs, whatever it may be, and let your money sit in the bank and make more money for you,
Mhm.
right? And then depending on how much money you have sitting in the bank, that interest you're making from that money could be paying off that small mortgage payment, to
Mhm.
where you have the interest paying the mortgage and your principal still there. So you still have all that money still sitting in the bank.
Mhm.
Yep.
And I'll give you an example too, sir. I just closed a
Mhm.
deal at our Galloway Ridge community. I had a young lady just like you, Miss Vivian. She came in. Is I think it's Vivian, or is it Vivian? I think it's Vivian. But she came in, and her agent, and she wanted to pay cash for the home because she said that her score wasn't where it needed to be to purchase. She had inherited some land and sold it. So we she did the loan application, and I'm gonna give you I'm not giving a name, so it's not like you would know who this person is, but her credit score was a 570 for her middle score. She was able to finance because she had the capital too,
And,
right? So
yeah,
certain programs, although FHA requires a minimum credit score of a 580, we were able to get her approved and finance the loan. And she also had a low interest rate of about 4.875 because she used some of the cash to buy her rate down, and she
yeah.
also just used she only needed a 10% down payment with her score. So she got the interest rate of a person who was in the 700s. Even if you were in the 800s, you couldn't get that rate. So
No,
she
you
she
can't get
got a
that rate.
great rate, and she was able to keep some of her money.
Yeah.
So
No, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. And just to give another perspective, you asked about putting down less or negotiating the price. I can, Sherica, feel free to close your ears or whatever, but I can say for our agents here that with lifestyle, if it's new construction, we're not coming in at a full price offer.
No.
Now, granted, if it's a spec home, I mean spec home meaning not spec home, if it's the one you're building from the ground up, then
to be
you
built.
typically have to pay full price because it's to your specific specifications. But if
Right.
it's an inventory home or spec home that is complete or will be completed in the next 30 to 45 days, we're not offering full price. And my man Danny is the king of lowball offers.
And I work with Danny all the time. Lord
He's the
knows
king.
we're on our third deal for the year. That man
Yes,
love to
yes.
negotiate.
Yes, he's the king, and I would like to say he learned it rightfully, but he was making lowball offers even before he knew me because he's an investor as well. But no, we don't have a problem throwing out quote unquote lowball offer because reason why I like real estate as opposed to law is it really is just numbers. Either the numbers work or they don't work. Right? Either it
Right.
works for you, the buyer, or it works for the seller, the builder in this case, or the seller if it's a resale, or it doesn't. There's no need to get too emotionally tied up to it. It's different. I understand it's a house. You're thinking about living there and envisioning your family being raised there, but it either works or it doesn't. So no, we don't have a problem throwing off lowball offers for not even just cash offers, talking about for financing, right? And then working what can be done as far as other incentives, whether it be a move-in package, washer, dryer, blinds, which Meritage already offers standard, but it's not, and most builders don't offer that standard, right? So, Kesha, tell me something about what's going on with some of your buyers right now.
You love to call on Kesha when she frees up.
I didn't know if she was
I got
frozen
you
or if
back.
she's just in
Don't
the
worry about
closet.
it.
What's
Don't worry
happening?
about it.
She's not frozen no more.
I saw her moving
Listen.
a second ago.
I'm here. I'm here.
All right. So I asked, tell me about some of your buyers as far as making an offer for new construction or even a resale home. What does that look like right now in today's market? And before you go, I must commend.
Oh,
Do
I
you
feel
guys
like
not
this.
wearing lifestyle shirts? I
Yeah.
like
They
it.
do.
I
Yeah.
like it. Okay. I'm the only one not wearing.
Waiting to get my shirt.
We can make you an honorary lifestyle because Trey lives in our office, Sherica.
he has a
He
little
really
kid
do.
in the back.
Yeah, no, he lives in our office, like literally. I wouldn't say every day, but he's there. He's there frequently. But we can make you part of lifestyle as well.
Okay, I'll
Honorary
take
member. Come on.
it.
But yeah, what has buyers been your experience making offers right now?
Oh, I think this is the best time to actually make an offer to negotiate. Well, to put in an offer low ball because they're accepting when the houses are sitting on the market right now, and it's just a conversation you got to have with the buyer. We're gonna go this price. They're gonna come back. They're gonna try to sell higher price, but we're gonna come back down. And it's been working. I'm fighting with on a resale home right now where we came in about $25,000 lower. And I asked for them to make repairs, and they were saying, "You want us to make repairs, and y'all got $25,000 off the home?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like, regardless of the fact, it
Yeah.
praise for what we put.
All right, we're losing her. We're losing her.
So we need the repairs done, and we need the money off the home. I think this is the best time.
No, I agree. I totally agree. This is a great time to, if you're so when I'm talking about it's a good time, excuse me, for buyers, The inverse for that for sellers is you need to be aware of what's happening, right? So it is an excellent time for buyers in certain price points. And when I say that, I'm saying if you're below 950, 8 to 950, 100,000, it is a prime time for you to take advantage of the market if homes have been sitting on the market for a little while, because you have the advantage in that point. There's more inventory than there are buyers in the market. But if you're over that 800, 950, I say 950 in Charlotte, it is still a seller's market, because that inventory has shrunken to where homes in that price point, depending on the location now, but in general, homes in that price point sit on the market for like 2.5 weeks. And I'm talking about, $1 million to 2 million to 2.5. Now, granted, location, move-in ready. So if you're thinking and hearing about it being a buyer's market and you're hearing that and you're in that price point trying to purchase, you'll be sadly mistaken when you go to an open house and realize that the property already has multiple offers and you thought you had time, right? I did pull this chart up. Now, this comes from Resi Club, and we talked about, Ms. Vivian, you asked about offers and come in less than what they're asking for and everything. Now, this is DR Hortons. Now, not talking about Meritage or any other builders, but builders are builders. But DR Hortons talking about gross margin for profits for each home sale. They have a 21% for Q2 2025, almost a 22% gross margin for profit. So with that said, they have wiggle room in there to negotiate. Right? They have wiggle room in there to negotiate. Now, I'm not saying that's always going to be the case when we talk about tariffs and increased building costs and all that. But the homes that are on the market right now haven't been impacted by tariffs because we already have the materials, it's already been built. Right. So there is wiggle room when you talk about negotiating homes that have been completed or will be completed. Now, downside of that, and I know you, is you won't get to put you don't get to put your touch on the home when it's being built because it's already built. But you could get it at a discount and then use that money that you got at a discount and put your own touch and finishes on that home, right? I Want Justice says, I want to move to North Carolina and make it my new home. Come on. Where are you thinking about moving to here in North Carolina? We have Gabriel just moved to Charlotte 2 months ago and started his wholesaling journey about 2 weeks ago. Need all the help in the world. Wholesaling. So wholesaling, that's a whole different topic. But no, reach out to me. I'm an investor. Danny here is an investor as well. Sherica. Oh, I don't know. You want me to put your business out there? Sherica. reach out to us. If you have a deal, we can buy it or we know people that can buy it. We are a resource. We're a resource. And me and Sherica had a conversation just off right before we got on, talking about he who controls whatever the asset is, right, is in control. Right. So wholesaling, if you have it under contract and you have control of that to where who's buying, who can sell it, like you are in prime position. So I commend you. Wholesaling is not for the faint of heart. You got to put in a lot of offers, but it is worth it. It is worth it. Let's see, how long is too long for a house to sit on the market? Just curious. Now, that is a very good question. Either one of you all have days on market for the Charlotte area or want to answer this question? I have some stats real quick. Hold on. Came prepared. All right. So right here in Charlotte, this is from March 2025. The median home price here in the Charlotte area is $393. So to answer your question, days on market, average days on market is 37. But I want to go over this chart just so we can again put things in perspective, because we talked about that monthly payment of $200,000, right? And a $300,000 home or $350,000 home. Well, that's ideal, but we just see that the median home value is just under 4. So that $300,000 home or 350 is rare.
Mm-hmm.
And if it comes to the market, more than likely, if it's moving ready, right? You have to always make that clear, because some of them just aren't moving ready and whatnot. Moving ready in a good area, decent area, it's gonna sell for over that $300,000 price point, right?
Yeah.
Sales price 411, days on market is 37. Now, again, we just talked about different price points have different days on markets, but general rule of thumb, if it's been on the market for, let's say, 55, 60 days, which is not double, but close to double the average
Yeah.
days on market, the seller should be motivated. Say should,
Right.
right? Does not necessarily mean they're going to be, but they may be willing to consider, less than stellar offers that they may not have considered when they first listed their property. Because
Right. You definitely got to lowball you.
Exactly. So sellers, if you're thinking about putting your house on the market and being ultra aggressive with the price, this is something you need to be aware of. You can be ultra aggressive with the price, but if it sits, people are going to wonder what's going on.
Why is it sitting?
Why is it sitting? What's wrong with the property? And then they're just going to start throwing lowball offers, and nothing could be wrong with the property at all. You just wanted to be extra aggressive with the price, right? What do you see right here? Average offers per listing is 2. Inventory says down 3% year over year. Now, this is Charlotte proper. That's not the case for the greater Charlotte area. Greater Charlotte area is actually up about 6,400 homes.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what we have there. Kesha, what are you experiencing in this market? I know you working with a couple buyers right now. How is that going? I know you talked about the ones that are looking for affordability, but what are they saying? Where are they looking? What's happening?
It's I want to live in Charlotte. Their prices are saying York or Hickory or Stanley.
Now, when you have that conversation with them, though, are they like just being firm and I'm not buying a home unless it's in Charlotte? What's going on with that?
Only one is that wants to actually be in Charlotte, but now they're considering a townhome, so that's a little better. But I just be honest with them. This is not where you're at. You can't be here. We got to go a little bit out the outskirts. You cannot be here. This is not you.
I got a townhome that you can sell them.
Right. I don't think they could be in that one either.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no.
Well,
So
the thing is with townhomes, you need to check the HOA, because they may not want to pay $150 to $200 a month HOA either. Right. I think that's a conversation you have to have with them, because the price may be lower, but then the HOA throw them to basically a single family price.
I mean, there's a couple of spots that I found that the HOA is low.
So we talked about closing costs a little bit, and this is where I want to just bring things back to reality and put a number on things so people can factor it in. Is when you talk about buying a home, you need let's say 3.5% down for a FHA mortgage. So you have that cost to buy the home. Then you have closing costs. And according to an article that just came out today on Housing Wire, the closing cost for a typical home purchase now is right around $5,000. So I know I talk to people pretty regularly where they may have the down payment, right? But they did not factor in the closing costs. Now, granted, if you go new construction, we can get incentives and try to negotiate that in. And then even with resale, you can try to negotiate that in. But I would rather have people aware of it and have it saved. And let's not be totally dependent on getting it in concessions or from somebody else. I want you aware of what it's going to take and cost to
Correct.
close a home.
And usually, sir, if they need that, extra money, I always suggest new construction because that's the way you don't have to fight to get that closing cost amount paid.
Right.
No, I agree. Totally agree. Now, what as we go further into the spring market, soon to be summer market, what now? I won't hold you all again to this. I'm not asking you all to be a fortune teller, but what do you all see happening in the Charlotte area, not nationally? Talking about locally. See, Kesha put that on you, Takesha. She said.
I don't even know why. I don't know why you just did that. Not when we the two Keshas. We're supposed to be here.
We are, girl. We're here. I do see the market picking up. Like, I see people, leases are ending. They see that the rates are not coming down. And I think that they're trying to actually jump on board to go ahead and purchase now before things change because they don't know where the market is going.
Yeah. Takesha?
I agree with Kesha said.
I see picking up, honestly.
Right. I see more people wanting to buy, but then you still got the ones that get discouraged about it. And they'd be like, I'm just going to rent. And I'd be like, well, you paying somebody else's mortgage. You could be paying your own mortgage.
Exactly. So I asked you all the question because I'm unsure. I I've read articles, skimmed articles, saw videos, and looked at everything. And it really is a crapshoot on what's next, like what is happening in the next 2 to 3 months, in the sense of our economy is just so up in the air, right? It's very hard to predict. You have just today, you have the president lashing out at Jerome Powell, the Fed president. Inflation. You have Peter Schiff, who's a bear generally. You have Peter Schiff, who talks about how inflation is not getting better and job loss and everything like that. So it's very hard to predict, in my mind, what is actually around the horizon when you have consumer confidence going down, right? But one thing we also know is that tons of millennials and boomers and even Gen X's are in the market to buy a home. Like they're in that home buying stage, whether it be the Gen X's or the millennials, they want to now start a family, right? And they want to have the security. So like I know I'm dealing with people who are getting off the sidelines and making the move to buy because one, to have that security, right? But then two, they're like, we waited long enough. And some of them feel like they waited too long, right? They should have jumped in maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, but they're like now, like it's never going to be perfect. They're jumping in now. However, I also talk to people who, with the uncertainty, they're sitting on the sidelines. But this is where I want everyone to not think emotionally. I want you to act like an investor in this instance. And as you see homes sit on the market longer, right? As you see homes sit on the market longer, reach out to myself, other realtors or whatever, and let's make aggressive offers on these homes, right? Because you don't need everyone to say yes. You just need one home seller to say yes to your lowball offer, right? And that way you have a somewhat of a hedge between, you have equity in it, right? And you get to have a fixed mortgage rate. Now, granted, taxes and insurance, I get it. Those are variables, but your principal and interest will be fixed, and you have an asset. So I encourage everyone right now to not to get swayed by the headlines. Take advantage of things that are being offered, whether it be the 3.99% interest rate, which I don't think will be around for an exorbitant amount of time, but take advantage of that. Make lowball offers for homes that have been sitting on the market almost twice as long as the days on market in that area, whatever area you're in. And just be wise. And be wise when you and surround yourself with knowledgeable people about the local market and not get swayed by the national news.
I think so.
That's what I say.
And I agree with you, sir.
There was one more thing I wanted to touch on. Here we go. The one more thing is Sherica is not here, but I am about to airdrop it to myself. She has an event Friday. Okay. Let me pull it up.
Boots on. So are you gonna take you wear your boots out there?
I do not have any cowboy boots. We'll see. All right. So we have Sherica Brinkley and Dr. Erica L. McKnight, Elm School Real Estate. What's going on, Erica? Presents Boots on the Ground at Galloway Ridge at Meritage Homes, April 25th from 5 to 7 p.m. And Western attire is preferred. So here they'll have an on-site lender to answer any questions you may have. They'll have wine and refreshments, as you see. Now there is an RSVP that just type in. You can RSVP, call that number, or text that number, because what you hear about is, one, what Meritage has to offer. They'll also be touring some houses and everything. And when you want to talk about buying in Charlotte proper, this is, Danny, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're still there in the chat, and you too as well. You talk about single family homes that are affordable and new construction. I believe that these are some of the most affordable single family homes by a big builder. I know I'm putting a whole bunch of caveats in here. By a big builder here in Charlotte proper right now. So you want to live in Charlotte, single family home?
Galloway I think so too.
Ridge.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Galloway Ridge, definitely reach out.
And they pay your closing cost.
And they pay your closing cost. And Danny says absolutely, and within minutes of Uptown. So you really can't beat this location. It really is like one straight shot. You probably make 2 turns and you're Uptown. She's not here to talk about
it's straight
it.
down 16.
Yeah, straight down 16. So it really is just one straight shot to get into Charlotte. Get into Uptown. You're already in Charlotte proper. Very good location. And we had a question from loan officer Daniels. Hi, everyone. What about property taxes? I'm sorry if I missed that part. What about property taxes? Talk to me. Talking about property tax increases, or what are we talking about in reference to property taxes? I understand that is part of your mortgage payment. But yes, this is what Sherica wanted to talk about and present. And if you have not been to an event that Erica McKnight throws or Sherica throws, you're missing out. Kesha took part in an event that Sherica threw. And tell us, how was it? Did you enjoy yourself?
Oh yeah, we was it was a vision board party.
Yeah.
So we put our vision boards together as agents to see what our goals was. So it was really good.
No,
Oh yeah, I was there too.
you were there too? Okay. So no, it's very interactive, and I understand we're having technical difficulties tonight, but Sherica is a ball of energy, and she'll make you laugh and just
Yeah.
educate you in the process, and make sure, although she works for the builder, right? She will make sure that you're in the correct spot, right? If Galloway Ridge isn't the location for you, she will hear and listen, and not push a product on you. What's going on, Latoya?
Right.
How you doing? We gotta get you on
Hey
here.
Toya.
We gotta get you on here, and I must commend you on your videos. Your videos are absolutely amazing. Yeah, even the short one you did with you falling onto the couch and all that stuff, I liked it. I pay attention. I watch. But to Kesha, how can people get in contact with you? To Kesha first.
My Instagram is Takesha, TAQESHA _the realtor. And my phone number is 980-329-1931.
If you can, there's a private chat. There's a private chat. Can you put all that information in a private chat? I'll copy it and put it into the chat for everyone else. I don't know if you're on your phone. I understand if that's not possible. Kesha Carter, how can people get in contact with you?
My number is 843-861-9881. My Instagram is Keish the Realtor. That's KeishaTheRealtor. And my Facebook is Kesha Carter.
Nah, thank you, Kesha. And if
And
you
then
can,
also my
put it in the
website
chat.
is KeishaCarterRealtor.com.
Okay. We'll talk about that website. We'll talk about it.
Okay, we can talk about it.
We'll talk about it. We just want the brand to be cohesive, right? We want it to be cohesive. We'll be all right. We got it. Now tell me, what areas do you all serve? You said North and South Carolina. What for both of you, what is your ideal client? Like, who do you work well with? Again, so they know to reach out to you.
I work well with everybody.
That is not true.
But I specialize in relocation, law enforcement, divorce people. I could be a therapist, your financial advisor, whatever you need me to do.
Okay. Now you said law enforcement. Why law enforcement? Do you have a law enforcement background? What's going on?
Yes, I'm retired correction officer from New York City, Rikers. So I got to look out for my people.
I'm with you. So you talk about law enforcement. You have police officers, all first responders.
Yeah,
I think
all
you're
first
selling yourself short.
responders,
Not talk to them.
nurses, firefighters, anybody that helps people.
Perfect. Thank you. Kesha Carter, talk to me. Forgive me, chat. Her internet is...
I specialize with everybody. I mean, I do a lot of first-time home buyers. I think that's my niche, like just really helping people that didn't think they can get into a home, helping them get into a home. I've been really successful with my relocation clients, making sure even if they don't see their home till they get here, that they're definitely satisfied and happy. I've been dealing with a lot of nurses, travel nurses, because everybody don't know how to calculate their get them in home as well. But I like to work with everybody. I feel like no deal is a challenge deal for me. I like the challenge.
I'm smiling because you're not lying. You're not lying. You do like the challenge, but I
I'm
love
having
the fact
internet
that
issues.
no, you're good. It- I'm just bigging you up. I like the fact that you go the extra mile for your clients. Um, you know the particulars regarding different programs and loans and everything like that, to where you're not a lender or a mortgage broker, but you take it upon yourself to know what may be available for different types of buyers. So I definitely like I see
Oh,
that.
she's gone.
Yeah, I see that in you. So I appreciate you doing that. Um, and hold on one second. Is she back? She's
Come
working on
back.
it. She's coming back. But no, chat, everyone, thank you all for rocking with us. Reach out, RSVP. The number's on the bottom of this flyer for Boots on the Ground this Friday from 5 to 7. There will be wine, there will be refreshments, there'll be an on site lender to answer any questions you have regarding the home buying process. And even if, excuse me, you're not interested in new construction, learn. Learn about what they're looking for as far as the lender, what's needed. And you may not ideally think you're interested in new construction, but I tell people to use new construction as even a step stool to get on the property ladder, right? To where it
Get that extra help.
lowers the burden, the barrier of entry, because you're getting all these incentives. You're getting a reduced interest rate, so it's able to help you get on that property ladder. And if you get in a new community, typically, I can't say always because we don't know what's going to happen in the future, but typically, if you're in a new community and you're not the last phase, within a year, 2 years, you're going to have anywhere from 5 to 10, depending on this market. I say 5 to 7% interest. Equity, right? And you can use that equity in a various amount of ways. So reach out, learn, and this may not be your dream home, but it gets you on the property ladder to be able to level up and use this home as collateral in the future. I'm Sir Ashley, your real estate advisor. We help out the Carolinas, North and South Carolina, but we're primarily focused here in the Charlotte area. If you have any questions, my contact information is in the description below. I also have a website, sirashley.com. And those of you who've been trying to reach out to me via email, pray for me. Technology has been awful. I changed my website provider, and I didn't realize my email was tied into that somehow. And I haven't been able to reply to emails in over probably 2 weeks. So I've been replying, but from a different email. So it's like you send an email to Sir Ashley, then I reply to you from a different email, and it's all over the place. However, good news is it was fixed earlier today. So I'm back up, being able to send emails. You all have a good night. I appreciate you all. I'll be dropping a video tomorrow talking about the Charlotte area. Stay tuned. Be sure to check that out. And I will talk to you later. Thank you.